Hey guys, welcome to Imagination Land or Imagination Matrix, where we're secretly spellcasting and cursing ourselves to grow older when we do this happy birthday ceremonial or ritualistic process. Yeah, welcome. Check this out and I'll be back.
This is why I don't believe. I used to sing this in Happy Birthday to You. It's nonsense. It's demonic. In year 3000 before Christ, it was used only for Egyptian pharaohs. Nobody was allowed to have birthdays. It was for the goddess Artemis. Artemis was connected to the moon goddess. That's why most birthday cakes are round in shape. So the happy birthday thing that you guys do is demonic. You need to start, listen to this, start rituals. Rituals will carry three lines in any ritual incantation. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. It carries a fourth one to affirm the person. So in the year 3000, the king, or rather the pharaoh, would use that with a round cake and candles. And the person would utter a word or their prayer. And then light was extinguished and the smoke would carry the prayer to Artemis. So you think you are repeating it 3 times for God. Then you say your wish. We don't wish nothing in Christianity. We decree and declare. And when you say you are 43 years old, you are affirming you are getting old. And the demons are excited that you really want to get old. You didn't hear me. Yet Christianity has brought Malika Zakusha. The gospel has brought immortality to life. Every time you affirm your age, every year you are accepting that you are getting old. You're getting old. That's why age has moved from over 900 to now 100, 70, 50. That's where we are playing around. Why? Because we've celebrated these birthdays for too long and we've affirmed we are too old. We're getting old every year. I'm 2 years old now. I'm 3 years old now. I'm 4 years old now. The more you keep affirming it, the more you are getting old. And guess what? You also sing it there as an offering to Greek goddess Artemis. Now even if you're 40, they don't buy 40 candles anymore. One. That one, it tells you it's not about candles. It's about blowing it. In what type of Christianity do we blow the light of?
This is a real thing. We do not blow out the candles. Why don't we do that? Well, okay. Did a little research in Judaism, the symbolic connection between the flame and the human soul and the idea that blowing out a candle might be seen as extinguishing that soul, using one's own breath being the symbol of one soul to extinguish another soul. The candle flame it's seen as like a negative gesture. What he's saying is actually true. In our traditions or culture, we're taught not to blow out the candles and not to let the fire extinguish, because now I'm understanding it's kind of symbolic of one soul.
And nobody here ever questioned themselves, why are we switching off the lights? Why are we blowing off the candle? Why? The devil is trying everything he can to corrupt that body you have put on. Because he knows without you cooperating, you will never get old.
Think about that for a minute, guys. That was pretty powerful. The devil is trying everything he can to corrupt that body you have on, because he knows basically without your consent or cooperation, you'd never get old, or you'd never consent to the shit that we're consenting to, you know? But so in light of me celebrating my birthday this month, turning the age of enlightenment 33, the age of Jesus, Yeshua, Yah, Elyon, Yahweh, bing, bob, boom, bob, bing, bob, bam, the type of shit among you wouldn't know. So if we think about this whole birthday song and ritual thing or ceremonial thing that we do on our birthdays, where we sing the song and we make the wish and do the whole cake thing with the candles, you know, what are we tricking our subconscious, right? Because the subconscious likes drama. That's kind of the whole point, in my opinion, of why we do these ritualistic things or these ceremonial things over and over. Like we repeat things 3 times. We light the candle. It's because I think that the subconscious must need some kind of drama to make it seem like real and help to manifest it quicker. Does that make any sense? We are, in a sense, cursing ourselves or embedding that thought into the collective human subconscious. Whereas if we could make more people aware of the fact that our subconscious works in this kind of way, and that when we are doing this happy birthday thing, but understand that the things that we're doing are actually kind of like rituals and magic and spell casting, and it doesn't seem like it's a positive spell cast in our favor. It seems as if we're doing it against ourselves. So what if we could actually extend the human lifespan if we just started embedding into our subconscious now that this is cursing us and tricking us and casting a spell on us to get older, and we could what if we could really extend the human life? And if that would be possible on a collective subconscious level, imagine like the power that we all have to do like magic within our own individual conscious and subconscious. And we just don't know exactly what we're doing yet. You know, all the knowledge is literally just all hidden. So I guess, for example, on an individual level, right? Like you can think about people who go to the doctors and get like some weird diagnosis, and like, they're like, well, I never put into my thought or belief that, you know, that I was sick or anything. And so they never get sick, right? In a sense, is that a form of like manifesting like health and like manifesting positive, good things in your life on an individual level, right? And on a subconscious level, I don't even really know of an example for that, because like, again, this world just seems very set up against us. And like, at least people who are listening who are around my age, we didn't really get a chance. Like we were literally born into MK Ultra. So, and then our parents were probably born into it as well. So we are just like truly walking around blind as fuck. Straight from from being birthed to now, we're just shoved and pumped with indoctrination, lies and bullshit about the world, all distractions to distract you away from learning about yourself and how to do these things and actually manifest, right? And so look at our language. I mean, the word love, backwards, it sounds like evil. So it really makes you wonder, what vibration are we actually putting out when we're saying these words? But then it also kind of led me to this thought about, okay, remember I was talking about on my last episode of how it's like a prism of light, where there's like a big white light that goes through a prism of glass. And that's how we see these different colors on the color spectrum that we have. And so I was thinking about love, and I'm like, why do we feel love? Or how do we even feel feelings, and where do they come from? And then I'm thinking, holy shit, is it something that is kind of implanted or embedded or put into the matrix, the ether, the aether, the either or? You can either go one way or go the other way. Aether, right? Our feelings kind of put in there, and they're different kind of like chemical reactions that happen with our brain that make us feel and these certain feelings, and like none of it's actually real. And that would really support this being a fucking virtual reality in some sort of sense. Like that feelings and thoughts and everything, like if the invisible matrix around us is all information of everything, if we could just pull anything we want to know straight from the ether, wouldn't that also pertain to like our feelings or emotions and stuff that we like feel as well, not just our mind or not just thought, right? And if you think about the word mind, if you flip over the M, it's wind. Mind is wind. I don't know, I'm just like having this little epiphany right now. It seems to me that thoughts are an electric force. Like when you have a thought, it's like electricity. If we could see it, it would look like electricity. And then whereas like when you feel an emotion, like when you feel something, that's more magnetic, right? And I'm still trying to understand this. I think manifestation is figuring out how to combine or fuse, or whatever the word is, bringing together the thought, the electric thought, and the emotional, the magnetism in the emotion, right? So listen to this. Every thought and emotion has a vibration which has a certain frequency. Every thought has an emotion attached to it. The strength of your field determines whether you are thinking and feeling high vibration expressions or low vibratory expressions. High vibrational thoughts and emotions strengthen your energy field. All emotions are felt in the heart, and thoughts are produced in the brain. It's important that you only maintain positive thoughts, as it will produce positive emotions in the heart, and the heart is 5,000 times more magnetic than the brain. The heart is the center of the field, and it has the ability to send out the magnetic pulses into the quantum field. The heart is constantly forecasting your emotions, and the vibration you put out determines what you attract back in, which is whew, that is so fucking cool. And that makes so much sense now for everything that I've been studying. That makes so much sense. Step one is positive. You need to I don't want to say monitor your thoughts, but be careful, because if we don't flush all these thoughts and stuff out. They can harness, like grief will sit there and linger and manifest itself as a disease, as a sickness, as maybe a nasty person in your life. So we have to be conscious of the thoughts that we have, the feelings that we have. And I've been somewhat trying to monitor my thoughts in the sense of if I think something's scary or bad, I'm like, stop, because now you're going to create this thought form, this thing, and it's going to sit in your energy and linger if you don't figure out how to get rid of it. But if we can start by just understanding that, like, you know, do you have an animal and you ever look at your animal and you just like are just full of love and just grateful and just looking at them with, oh my God, you're the best thing in the world type of thing? You don't know this, you're impregnating love into your animal. Like they feel that. You are giving them literal energetic love. Isn't that fucking cool? Right? And you could, like, we all do it. We just don't even realize it. Like, have you ever seen someone give you like a dirty look or whatever? Or have ever been in a classroom and someone you just looking at like just staring at you? Just staring. I was in college. What was I? I was young. I graduated high school a year early and I went over to CCBC, for my first year, right? And I was in some class and there was this fucking huge black guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you what he was. And he would sat across the room from me, but obviously he wasn't mentally right in the head, but every day he would like lick his tongue out at me and make these sexual innuendos and just stare the entire class. And I honestly was so scared by this that, you know, I went to talk to people at the school about it. And like, he's making these whatever. So moving forward from that, don't worry about it, Faith. And don't worry about it, Faith. A couple, months later, just throughout that school year, I get in an elevator and someone grabs me from the back. I have my book bag on, grabs my book bag, drags me in the fucking elevator, and it's that guy. And I didn't fucking know what to do. I just turned and I saw him and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? And I acted like we were like cool, chill friends. And like, that was like what he was supposed to do. He fucking threw me into the thing. And then and at the time, I think I was like, wait, is this someone? I might have thought it was a friend of mine at first. And then I realized, no, this is that guy from my class. And it scared me so fucking much, obviously. And, I had to get an escort to class to my classes because the kid, after that incident, not only did he not leave me alone, he would show up to every single fucking class of mine. And I never knew the guy's name even. I don't know what happened. He would show up to every class. He would look through the door. You know how like they would have those little like, rectangle glasses on the school doors, like at CCBC or whatever. He would just come up and look and stare at me while I'm in another classroom. And one time, I think it was right around finals because I was ready to just drop out altogether because it was just scaring me. So I literally thought I was going to get killed. This guy came up to my class and I guess he took his hand out and he made it into a gun shape and he came up and pressed his head on the fucking window of my classroom and pointed his hand at me at like the gun. After that, like I never saw him again. But how fucking freaky is that, right? When you look at people, you can send the evil eye. When you look at people like when I look at my animal, I say, Finn, I love you so much. And freaking cover him in love. And that's a positive thing, right? English language is just seemingly a very high technology, inverted in a sense, like created to make sure that the words are thwarted in a sense. Does that make sense? That we always speak with a forked tongue. A moment in my life finally came where I could say that saying and where it actually needed to be said. They speak with forked tongue. When we think things, they do come out in our energetic field. We don't see it, but they are there. And if they're not dealt with, they resurface. They can come up as disease. And so just be mindful of the thoughts and make sure, like, I don't know. This is what I'm trying to do. If I feel like grief or something like that or sadness, I try to ride out the emotion and see like where it takes me and just try to like rid it. You know, I don't want to just tuck it away. When you tuck things away, you have to eventually deal with it, right? And if this is the quote unquote end times, guys, it's time we gotta deal with it now. Okay? So time to fucking deal with it. But oh my gosh, have you guys ever heard of Talus? Which was like this, it's an ancient Greek mythology that this guy Hephaestus or Prometheus, either the same guy or two different guys, whatever, they made this like giant AI robot called Talos that would guard the island Crete, which was right outside of Greece, right? So AI definitely is not anything new. And the way that this robot was run was it had like one like vein, I guess, from its top of its head down to the bottom of its foot. And what was running through it was this liquid that they called ichor, which was supposedly the blood of the gods, which like made them immortal or whatever. And the story is that apparently this ancient lady Medea, which makes you think of like Medea, like Medea's family reunion, or Medea, like Medea, this lady or whatever, she ends up killing or stopping this giant, being, this Talos guy, by opening some opening in his bottom of his foot and letting that ichor or God's blood spill out. And what's also really interesting is, like, do you guys remember that movie that came out? It was called, I think, like the Iron Giant, or the big Iron Giant. And it's literally like conditioning and programming to make us sympathetic and empathetic with robots. And I think it's like literally the story of Talos, this giant AI robot that protected Greece, and he would actually pick people up and hug them, and he would turn steaming hot, so he would burn to death the people that he would pick up. If he saw ships coming or whatnot, he would pick up big boulders and throw the boulders to sink the ships. Like, holy crap, that's crazy. And does that also link to like Pandora's box being some kind of AI, right? Because the story about Pandora's box is a little sketch too. It's kind of similar, where this guy Hephaestus, I think the same guy who made Talos, was like told to make this box, and like the I think it was Hesiod or Ovid, one of those poets who wrote about it. And it said and like make her like this, and then put a female voice into her. So clearly that's some kind of like artificial intelligence robot, something that they were doing back then. I'm still reading into it because it's kind of like, it's very interesting, but it's also kind of freaky, because if that's so long ago, then we've been digressing back, and like we've just been lied to about all this technology, and it's just freaky. And if you want to think about it like this, Talos, he was this guard for this giant robot guard for like this island off of Greece. Don't you think that that's the same thing as us having like a ton of little drones now? Just because it's tiny doesn't mean it has any less effect as what, Talos used to do. Not going to hug you and burn you, but who knows? If you read the actual poetry about the making of Pandora's box and of Talos, it's very, very interesting. And we should be looking into it a little bit more. I'm definitely going to be looking into that more. But so to close out, if I could leave you guys with one like big thing, is that I would encourage us to start being mindful of what we're putting out into the world, being our thoughts, energy, emotions, whatever it be, and that we do things with purpose, right? Or intent and will and intention behind it. So we do a lot of things with just totally scatterbrain, like you might think that you're structured and that you have a 9-to-5 job and that's what you're working on from 9 to 5. But like, do you play on your phone at all during that? And when you are playing and doing that activity on your phone, are you doing it with purpose, right? Are you researching something? Are you concentrating? Are you losing focus, right? Humans have lost a great amount of ability to concentrate and focus. And, so that's part of the reason I keep like re-recording myself, because I'm worried that I just keep fucking rambling and people aren't going to listen. But I need to understand that that's not the way to think about it, and that the people where it like resonates and attracts, like will attract back, We need to like really pull back in our power, our creator power, and understand that we are all powerful. It is all us. And I understand it's like a lot, and it's a lot to ask of people to do. It's not that, but it's kind of like, what the fuck else are we here for? Number one. Number two, do you guys want to get out of this age? Because I would like to see humanity evolve, but if we don't get enough of us to wake up, we might just not. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I mean, my Little Thinkers newsletters, that's like a manifestation, right? Of my thoughts coming into a matter form, right? Or physical, tangible form. If there's one thing, I guess a big takeaway I would say is that we could start seeing the power within us by starting everything that we do or put out from us, everything that we expel out of us in a sense, or project out of us, or reflect, whatever, anything that we put out into the universe, first have intention and purpose of where it's going, what it's doing, right? Because if our thoughts and stuff really do exist in this invisible form around us, and imagine the effect that we could actually have if we started having purposeful, intentional thoughts and feelings and stuff, like we could really maybe heal the body. And like I was saying, extend the human life, right? Like if we don't look at this fucking happy birthday thing as, oh, ha ha ha, this people think it goes back to art. Like if you actually fucking have a brain and say, whoa, like this shit like is legit. And these ancient texts don't seem to be fucking playing around, or however ancient you want to say that they are. But you take it seriously and see like, wow, humanity is being played. I want to give back or contribute to humanity and to the collective and whatnot. We need to stop doing this bullshit, right? Like it's fucking nonsense, fuckery bullshit. Literally, it's all fucking bullshit. The devil is trying everything he can to corrupt the body, because without your fucking consent, you would never allow this shit. Just like this dumb fucking music they play, just like how Hollywood pumps out fucking propaganda bullshit, nothingness, legit nothingness. It's substanceless. Honestly, it's so fucking weird seeing the people that are like just praised in society and knowing that like, that I am and everyone I basically know is so much more good inside and just so much smarter. You're all so much smarter and like more genius than these fucking idiots, really. Like, and the fact that I even have to say that, like, it really is almost, it is a little gut wrenching, guys. Like, for real. I really hope that I'm not just like speaking out into like the air and it actually is hitting someone's, field, right? This next bit is going to be the scripture story to talk about when the people of Israel were getting defeated behind these mountains of Gilboa.
There is no mountain anywhere. Immense ignorance is this mountain. This is not about a mountain. It's about situations that look like mountains. And David said unto him, how wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, go near and fall upon him. And he smote him and he died. And David said unto him, thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. And David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Joshua. The beauty of Israel is slain upon the high places. How are the mighty fallen? Remain there. Notice what it says. It says there was a problem. We were destroyed in a certain location. Don't tell it to the people in Gath. Publish it not in the streets of Ashkelon. Lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice. Lest the daughters of the uncircumcised. So verse number 19 is talking about how Israel was destroyed. They were fighting battles and they were beaten behind the mountain of Gilboa. But I want you to understand that the prophet doesn't speak to the soldiers that failed the war. No. His problem is not with the soldiers. His problem is not with the commanders or the generals that fought the war and failed. He says, please don't tell the people, verse number 20, don't tell the people in Gath how we were beaten. Don't publish it. Even in Ashkelon, they will laugh at us, these Philistines who are uncircumcised. So what does he do to correct what happened when they lost? Look at what he fights. You mountain of Gilboa. The prophet begins to fight a physical mountain. No. When last did you speak to a mountain? When last did you speak to the soil? When last did you speak to trees? Your Christianity is half-baked. You're practicing a shortened Christianity. Witches understand you can talk to the river. But Christians, it's all fake tongues. Move up and down and there is nothing to show for it. And yet the man here as a prophet, he banishes rain and dew. In other words, he's saying we will not offer any sacrifices on that mountain anymore. Why? Neither be there no rain upon you. He's saying rain will not come. Rain would be around a mountain like this. There, the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away. And the shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil. What he is saying is, you mountains, when you saw Israel was losing, you should have defended them with your rocks. Now we were beaten as human beings. You should have looked at the anointing that was upon Saul. Even your rocks should have responded. Your trees should have responded. The soil should have responded. I speak to somebody here that every mountain understands you are anointed.
They didn't have any problems. They had problems with the mountains. Like, the prophet didn't give a fuck who you were. He was like, fuck, let me take up this mountain. Like, bitch, you saw that these were anointed people. You saw these were all godlike people, and you watched them, like, get destroyed? Your rock should have responded. Your tree should have fucking responded. These were God's anointed people on your soil. It makes you wonder about, like, what are we doing to manifest things? We just know that you could talk to the river. But Christians, it's all fake tongues. He's got a point. He's on point, right? He's saying, like, the witches know how to work with nature in ways that apparently create things or manifest. And, I just think it's a cool story of true loyalty and just always standing firm in what's right and having that integrity and never faltering from that, you know, like knowing that these were the just people and you watch them burn, you know, you should have done something. You should have had some kind of fucking integrity. But he's also saying like that the prophet didn't have any issues with the people who stood and fought, you know, for us or the Israelites, you know, who got destroyed or defeated. He didn't have problems with the commanders or the chiefs or the warriors who were defeated. He had problems with the people who didn't do anything. They're like, don't tell the people over there. Don't tell them. They're going to rejoice over there. Those fucking, giants, those Philistines, which, you know, I think is the Philippines, but because that's where I think some of the giants are. And I just think it was a really incredible way to just kind of think about things differently about how this prophet, literally, he's like, the prophet came to fight a literal physical mountain. So maybe there's deeper meanings to what is our reality. And, you know, and so I thought that was a nice illustration of a story where, you know, they're talking about the Israelites get defeated behind these mountains, and this prophet who comes to, you know, can see this destruction and this defeat. You know, he doesn't condemn the fighters. You know, he doesn't condemn the people who were brave enough to stand there with their people and have the courage. No, he looks around. He says, look at the rocks. Look at the tree. Like, blame these living beings, because they knew that these were anointed people and they sat there and they watched. And it's almost making me think like how I've said before, like almost when you keep your head down, when you know something's a sin or whatever and you do nothing, sometimes that is even a sin to do nothing. But I'm not a preacher and I'm not anyone's God. I just wanted to present how an awesome story that was. And I don't know, it's just our battles. What does it say? Our battles are not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, and just not of the world that we know. Remember that, like, I truly believe it is us that is all powerful, and there is no there's no savior coming. It's a way to make us not look within to pull out the savior that is us. Like, we are our saviors and we are all powerful. We are the fucking shit. Remember that. We're the shit. We are, I don't want to say it, like, you know what, you know what I mean when I'm trying to lift you up, but we are, there's not even a word I could encompass how amazingly beautiful, powerful, incredible beings that we are. Thank you guys for listening. And I guess I am now the age of an enlightened being. Or am I illuminated? Who knows? I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And I'm happy that you guys are here on this journey with me.
We don't wish nothing in Christianity. We decree and declare. We have to